Chapter 6, Activities and Tools, Working Collaboratively and Independently. Chapter 6 will discuss 6 basic activities that can be used for many subjects to support the content and the learner. The activities encourage critical thinking, activate learning, collaboration, and class communication. Class participation and discussion. Discussions help create student-to-student interaction and participation in an online course. There are 3 types of discussion activities: social, general, and topic-driven. An instructor should use all 3 types of discussion activities when designing a course. Activities: social forums, building a class community. Building a class community is essential for success. Students can introduce themselves by using an icebreaker. Students can meet in small groups, and an open, ongoing forum where students can share topics of interest is always important. Online journaling activities. Types of online journal activities can be done individually, in a small group, or as a whole class. The goal for a student is to reflect on their thinking. So an activity can be individual reflection via the blog. After a student complete an assigned reading, they should reflect. Students can summarize their interpretation of the readings and make connections to their prior knowledge. Teachers can also post questions about the reading, and students can share and discuss with their peers. Shared knowledge base. Types of knowledge base building activities are a class glossary, group research projects, class bibliographies, group class projects, error corrections, annotations for articles, and group or class storyboards. A collaborative glossary is when the teacher can define the term for the students, or the learner can define the terms they are unfamiliar with. An activity that promotes collaborative timeline chronological list are when students help to create a big picture perspective. Students can also create a chronological list on a given topic, and this will address the evolution of the given topic. Practice exercises. The following are types of practice exercises. First, we have multiple choice. This is where learners select their answer based on a set of options. This can be evaluated by a computer. Next is matching, where students match an item in a column with the item in column B. These questions can also be evaluated by a computer. Then we have fill in the blank. Students enter a word of phrases to complete a statement. Also can be evaluated by a computer. Next is true and false. Students evaluate whether a statement is true or false. Also can be evaluated by a computer. Lastly, we have drag and drop. This is where students can manipulate phrases or objects by dragging them around the screen and dropping them to where they want. This type of practice exercise can be used to have students categorize or organize items in a defined way. An activity can be self-assessment. Self-assessment activities have the following advantages in an online course. They help students to pace their learning. They serve as a tool for learner reflection. They reinforce understanding. And they actively engage students in the course content and provide instantaneous feedback on their progress. Feedback. Ideally, feedback that is generated automatically should include an explanation of why the learner's selection was correct or incorrect. Designing and building the exercise can be time-consuming initially, but in the long run can save time with the automatic feedback. Also, it is recommended that practice exercises only account for a small portion of the student's grade. Group projects. Through group projects, there are sufficient opportunities for learners to work collaboratively. Also, learners are encouraged to interact with others and benefit from each other's expertise. Lastly, procedures for group activities are specified so that each student understands their role in the collaborative activity. We have online group presentations, which can be in many forms, including pre-recorded videos, slide presentation that is narrated, slide presentation with attached notes, or a combination of text, images, audio, and video. We also have group research projects/paper. When introducing new content, consider having learners discover it rather than simply read it. Research projects can do just this and allow students to conduct their own research understandings of a subject. Projects help make content more meaningful because the learner selects the resources and the topic. Learners become responsible for their own learning and through discussions can share their viewpoints with the class and experience multi-points of view from other members of their group. As a summary of Chapter 6, activities should be frequent and varied. Students may respond to questions, select options, provide information, or interact with each other. Activities should engage students in higher-level thinking skills, including critical and creative thinking, analysis, and problem-solving. Activities should encourage active interactions that involve course content and personal communication. Resources and activities should support learning outcomes, and an online space is a place for students to meet outside of the classroom. There are sufficient opportunities for learners to work collaboratively. Also, learners are encouraged to interact with others and benefit from each other's expertise. Lastly, procedures for group activities are specified so that each student understands their role in the collaborative activity. Chapter 7, Resources that Engage. Resources create a richer and more diverse learning experience. Encourage students to go beyond that required material and investigate their own. Text-based supplemental resources. Well-chosen real-world text resources support and enrich teacher-made and teacher book content. Some text-based resources include quotes, literary reviews, and critiques, newspapers and magazines, historical speeches and documents, business documents, plans, letters, statistics, reports, and case studies, scientific studies, math problems with arguments and examples, international, political, and cultural documents and information. Many text-based materials are accessible through institutional online library services or the internet. If something is assigned or recommended for the students to retrieve, make sure they can access it by providing them a direct link. Ensure that all links work and the content is current. Also, ensure that resource material is accessible to all students in a commonly used format. Lastly, emphasize the importance of following copyright laws and ensure that students understand the consequences of plagiarism, cheating, and failure to properly cite copyrighted material. Images, photos, screenshots, charts, graphs, and illustrations. Courses include a variety of relevant multimedia to support learning. What kind of images do you need? Details in images, graphs, charts, and diagrams are easy to see. Make sure labeling in all presentation materials is accurate, readable, and clear. Audio and video. Audio and video can address the needs of students with different learning styles. Resources can be found on the internet or in textbooks. You can make your own content using your computer or audio-video recorder. Provide students with a link to the media player when embedding video or audio clips. YouTube is the player itself. Varying voices and perspectives. Internet resources give the opportunity to bring in other voices, opinions, and perspectives. The teacher in different formats. The teacher should alternate between the discussion board and blog postings when communicating. The teacher should also embed audio and video samples. A variety enhances content and builds in redundancy to clarify difficult concepts. Keep audio and video segments 2 to 5 minutes, and don't post class lectures online. The students in different formats. Students can contribute audio and video clips after the teacher's model, and the length of their audio and video segment should be relatively brief. Expert voices, practitioners, and academics. Example 1. Direct expert interaction. Guest speakers bring another voice and expertise to the class. Introduce the speaker to the class ahead of time. The way the guest is presented depends on his or her work studied. The guest interacts with the students over time in a discussion forum or through a project website. Learners are encouraged to interact with others and benefit from their learning experience and expertise. Example 2. Indirect expert interaction. An indirect expert interaction is when the students respond to their expert in some way, and the teacher comments and communicates with the students. Example 3. Expert audio and video clips. Khan Academy can provide things like mini lectures and video clips. Experience from the field. Resources from the field provide real-life exposure to the class content. Materials should reflect current issues. An example, input from the field. Scott Thornberry makes short audio recordings of players in his field of work. Teacher-to-peer, guest, and automatic feedback clarifies, amplifies, and extends the topics. Topics and materials are up-to-date and relevant. Materials are authentic or related to real-life application. And presentations of new knowledge and skills, activities, and assessments address a variety of learning styles. Free web-based tools and resources. The teacher should select tools that add value to the course content. Accessibility. 3 key points. Format. The format must be accessible to the students and necessary downloads should be within reach. Links. Provide a link to resources that are not accessible where the information is referred to. Portability. Make large files available in a portable and downloadable format. A summary of Chapter 7. This chapter presents ways to include supplemental text, images, audio and video, and web-based tools. Thank you for listening.